Imo juu tuliongea na yeye na simu mara ya mwisho. Alisema kama sijazi 5,000 ng'ombe itaenda kwa shimo. Nikamuuliza, nikamwambia si uchukue hata 2,000.
Yeye akichukua sheria mkononi, yeye anafanyagwa nini?
And Bahati police in Nakuru on the spot over massive bribe allegations. All right, remember you can engage us on our socials. That is at Amwai Brian on Twitter, at LookUpTV. The hashtag this evening is LookUp News. Let's get started with what has been making headlines across the country today. Now, Justice Agri Mchelule-led tribunal has recommended the removal of the embattled IEBC Commissioner Irene Masit from office. Now, in its report, the tribunal ascertained that the accusations facing the Commissioner Masit were true. Now, the tribunal further said the evidence presented proved that Masit had violated the Constitution and had gross misconduct during the 2022 general elections. It is a commission that presided over a disputed election and one that could be normal with just 5 months after the election.
The impeachment of Hastings coincided with the independence struggle in America.
The tribunal formed by President William Ruto to look into a petition to have the IEBC Commissioner Irene Masit has recommended for her removal a week after the conclusion of the hearing of petitions. In its report to President William Ruto, the Justice Agri Mchelule-led tribunal said the allegations against the commissioner were proven.
The tribunal then commenced proceedings to investigate the one Commissioner Irene Cherop Masit, which we did in accordance with Article 251 of the Constitution. Your Excellency, the tribunal has discharged its function in strict observance of the law and adhere to the rules of natural justice, and has conclusively inquired into all the allegations as outlined in the petition and has prepared a report on the findings and recommendation therewith. Your Excellency, the findings derived from the investigations have satisfied the tribunal that the allegations of serious violation of the Constitution and other laws and gross misconduct have been proved to the required standard to qualify our recommendation for the removal from office of Commissioner Irene Cherop Masit.
The report reads, and I quote, having considered all the evidence tendered, the tribunal finds that the allegations on serious violation of the Constitution and the law against Commissioner Irene Masit have been proved to the required standard. Now, therefore, this tribunal recommends to you, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, pursuant to the mandate assigned via the Gazette Notice number 14890 of 2nd December 2022, and further in accordance and in compliance with Article 251, 1 and 6, that Commissioner Irene Cherop Masit be removed from office as a member of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission.
This is yet again another occasion when we celebrate our Constitution, that it makes provision for service by all Kenyans who serve in various capacities, and of course also provides for sanctions and exit for those who don't measure up or those who are not competent, and those who cannot withstand enticements of extrajudicial and extra-legal bodies and what comes with it. So,
on the count of violation of the Constitution during the tallying process, Masit was found guilty after she and the other 3 commissioners distanced themselves from the Chebukati announcement. The report reads, the actions by the commissioners to proceed to Serenat to issue the PRASA to disown the results that she had participated in tallying and verifying were intended to undermine and erode public trust in the commission and to the results. In our considered view, these actions amounted to gross misconduct. The Mchelule-led panel also found Masit guilty of agreeing to a proposal by Raila Odinga's Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition agents to moderate the presidential election results and force a rerun. The report found that the commissioner agreed with the request by the delegation that they needed to interfere with the results by either declaring Baba as the winner or, in the alternative, they be moderated to allow for a rerun. They threatened that if that was not done, the country would be plunged into chaos, reads part of the report. The report continues to indicate that the actions by the Commissioner, Irene Masit, clearly shows that she was amenable to improper influence and that she could not be trusted to be an impartial and neutral arbiter. Once again, she was guilty of gross misconduct. The recommendation to have Masit out of office comes at a time when President William Ruto has declared vacancy in the commission, calling on people to send in their applications. The commission has no commissioner after Chebukati, Gulie and Molu finished their term of office early this year. The OPEC 4, led by former Vice Chair Juliana Cherera, Nyang'aya, Wanderi, resigned, leaving Masit to stand trial. Ruto, in a Gazette notice dated February 14th, declared 6 out of the 7 positions open pending the hearing and determination of Masit's case, an exercise that the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition has vowed not to be part of. Brian Amwai, Look Up TV, Nairobi. All right, now just a follow-up on that particular report. President William Ruto has appointed the selection panel for the recruitment of the nominees for appointment as the chairperson and members of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Now, this is a Gazette notice that has been, released just a few minutes ago. Let me just take you through some of the names. Now, in exercise of powers conferred by Section 7A of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Act 2011, as read with paragraph 1(2) of the first schedule to the Act 1, William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces, appoints Bethuel Sugut, Charity S. Kisotu, Evans Misati James, Benson Njugi Njeri, Nelson Makanda and Fatma Saman to be members of the selection panel for the recruitment of nominees for appointment as the chairperson and members of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Now, President Ruto has actually, appointed members here who are going to sit as the panel to select who will be members of the IEBC. That is just a Gazette notice that has been issued a few minutes ago. Now, moving on. Tension is high in Kapushen village in Pokot South constituency, West Pokot County, after armed bandits raided the village and made away with cattle as 3 schools were shut down in Samburu County following insecurity in the region. This is a report prepared by Ian Kitani.
The attack happened last night in Tambash, Pokot South constituency, just a day after armed bandits made way with animals and left security officers injured in Samburu County. The incident was confirmed by Aston Kambe, with local leaders urging the government to move in with speed and ensure sanity is restored.
Ng'ombe imetolewa hapo Sekution, Kapushen, Kamele na wakora kutoka upande wa Elgeyo Marakwet. Na tungetaka kusema kabla ng'ombe haichapelekwa mbali, tungetaka commissioner wa West Pokot na waziri wa ulinzi Kindiki wapatiane order askari wa undistracted Kamele na jeshi wa Kamele wafuate ng'ombe haraka.
Elsewhere, Pura, Kesapuki and Sepei in Samburu County remains a former shadow of itself after more than 500 residents sought refuge in neighboring counties due to insecurity in the region. Those affected by the insecurity include students from 3 different schools, with Samburu West MP Naisula Lesuda urging the government to send in more troops.
Yes, Kindiki and also the IG, because yesterday I was in touch with them and I've been in touch with them for some time. And yesterday, after what happened when the principal chief was killed and 2 people and also some homesteads were attacked, they were able to send some reinforcement from the military and also from other departments, and at least for the first time in a very long time, yesterday people slept peacefully. What I would just like to request of them is that it be continuous. It cannot be a one-day affair.
Lesuda further urged the Ministry of Education to chip in and help the displaced students, as they will lag behind if peace is not restored.
Fortunately, now we have 3 schools which have been closed in this area. We have Pura, we have Kesapuki, we have Sepei, and it's very unfortunate because these children will be behind in their studies. I really hope that peace will be restored here so that the children can go back to school. The situation has really been bad and I've been updating on it. I mean, people have been grazing, and they're the ones now drinking water on the boreholes where these families have been living.
Area residents are calling on the government to intervene, as the armed bandits often use sophisticated weapons as compared to those that the police use.
Actually, mimi naongea hapa, waliua ndugu yangu who was also a breadwinner to our family. Waliacha watoto wadogo wawili kwa huyo ndugu yangu mwenye walioa. So tungeomba serikali sana wakuje watusaidie hapa, kwa sababu hawa watu ni kama wamesidi sana. Kuja huko wametukatisha mashule. Sasa tuko nyumbani, hatujaendelea na masomo yetu kwa sababu ya hawa watu.
Serikali nataka ile anasaidia sisi, hata adui nasumbua pana usiku hata mjana. Na hao watu napeleka ng'ombe, naomba ile serikali nasaidia sisi.
Ian Keitani, Look Up TV.
Now, residents of Rionyego in Kisii County have today lynched a man reported to have slashed his son's face over a family dispute. The residents have blamed Joram Osiemo for not fully involving his sons while making decisions to sell family property. Samia Dika with the details.
Residents of Rionyego have witnessed bizarre incident before taking action and lynching a man and dumping his body in a river. Joram Osiemo, famously known as Etwani Mbariri, is reported to have differed with his son Daniel Misita over a sale of family trees. The two are said to have engaged in a heated verbal exchange before the father hacked him. Full of frustrations, the neighbors lynched Joram before throwing his body into the nearby river. The neighbors have, however, blamed the man for not involving his family before disposing family properties.
Inasangaza sana wakati mtu mmoja ama mzazi unaamua kufanya kitu wewe peke yako. Shida ikitokea utajilaumu mwenyewe. Kwa hivyo ukiamua kufanya kitu kwa familia, fanya consultation ama msikizane na familia ndio fanye kitu. Usipofanya hivyo, shida itatokea. Kwa hivyo na waomba Wakenya wenzangu, fanya consultation kwa jambo lolote ndio shida isitokee.
It is one among many cases of killings currently being reported in Kisii County, with many of the residents unaware of the causes.
Right. Now, a senior police officer and his juniors attached to Bahati police station in Nakuru North are on the spot over 500,000 bribe that led them to dispose a 55,000 cow at a private slaughterhouse. Now, the proprietor and butchers served at the Maili Kumi slaughterhouse have accused the officers of high-handedness, with the Saturday incident paralyzing operations at the premises for 2 days. Employees at the slaughterhouse say that the OCS Bahati police stations stormed the premises on Saturday morning and found them in the process of slaughtering animals.
Nafikiri tulipochagua Ruto tunajua ni mtu anatusaidia, ametupea Azura Fund. Ndio hii tunangangana nini? Naye mwingine anarusha ng'ombe kwa shimo. Tunaomba kusaidiwa. Tunaomba serikali igirie. Tunaomba. Hata Kenya kilinistua sasa sana ni kusikia OCS sasa ndio arushe ng'ombe kwa shimo juu tuliongea na yeye na simu mara ya mwisho. Alisema kama sijazi 5,000 ng'ombe itaenda kwa shimo. Nikamuuliza, nikamwambia si uchukue hata 2,000.
Yeye akichukua sheria mkononi, yeye anafanyagwa nini? Bwana Kindiki, wewe fanya kazi yako, tunajua kazi yako ni mzuri. Tolea sisi huyu OCS, utuletee sisi OCS mzuri mwenye atafanya kazi yake ya kuweka. In fact, kukua na hii kichinjio afadhali uende ukapike chang'aa. Watu wa chang'aa hawaulizwi, lakini ukiwa unachinja unaulizwa. Na mimi nimekaa hapa na huyu kijana sasa, hii kichinjio iko na miaka 6. Sijaisikia ati kuna wizi wa ng'ombe umekuja hapa. Mimi ni neighbor wake. Sijaisikia kuna wizi, kuna ng'ombe imechinjwa baya, kuna nini. Sisi ni kusaidia wakulima. Ile ng'ombe imeibiwa, napigia sisi ripoti, alafu tunasema ng'ombe iko wapi, tunawaambia angalieni kichinjio hiyo ingine.
Now, away from that, healthcare workers under the Universal Healthcare Plan have condemned the government for disregarding their interests. Protesting today in Nairobi, these health workers are asking for permanent employment, claiming that short-term employment is expensive and often destroys their professional growth. Abigail Shira with more on this particular story.
14 days after giving the government an ultimatum to decide the fate of these health workers, what followed? Nairobi's busy streets were flooded with placards with health workers in fight of their rights. This time round, waging war at the lawmakers' doorsteps. Amongst the key demands by the health workers umbrella pushing for appropriate wages. The health workers also pushed for monthly stipends by calling on the government to dignify health workers.
We have petitioned the ministry, and we are as well taking another petition to the Senate and National Assembly after here, where we are asking them to either give them PNP status or pay a salary that is equivalent to a person who is on PNP.
The chairperson of health workers, Dr. Peterson Washira, has sensitized the issue of interns to be absorbed after completing their internship tenures so as to put the skills and expertise to practice and serve Kenyans.
We are also petitioning against discriminative payment of internship stipend. We are saying all interns must be paid and must be paid as per the job group provided for the interns because it is there. We do not have people who are children of God and people who are children of the other humans.
The Senate representative for health workers has vowed to present this issue at the Senate and root for this matter to be addressed immediately.
Outside, there are health workers. Some have resorted to do other things, even selling clothes. So it is contradictory that you have health workers and Kenyans are not getting services and the health workers are not getting employed. But the worst bit of it is a policy that is coming that again will reject in Parliament and will again take it to the committee.
For a long time, the health workers have complained about their grievances not being addressed by the government. Hence, their protest today is a clear indication of aggravation, promising to strike if nothing is done. Abigail Shira, Look Up TV.
Right, now that report by Shira takes us to our first break here on the program. Don't go too far, we'll be back with more. Continue engaging us on our socials at Amwai Brian on Twitter, at Look Up TV. The hashtag we are using is Look Up News. We are also live on Facebook and on YouTube. Be sure to send your feedback. We'll be able to sample some of it as we continue with the program tonight.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Double Valentine.
Mwezi huu wa mapenzi, spread the love na Lotto Valentine's Double. Jishindie pesa taslim guaranteed kati ya shilingi 200,000 na shilingi 1,000,000 ndani ya daily draw, na mpenzi wako wa Valentine's atapata pesa kama hizo. Hii Valentine's prizes ni kibao. Kuna 10 fully paid couples holidays kila wiki kwenda Mombasa, Diani, Mount Kenya, Masai Mara na Naivasha. Sambaza upendo na Lotto na ujishindie hadi shilingi milioni 100 ndani ya mega jackpot. Changamka, cheza Lotto. Tuma kati ya shilingi 50 na shilingi 1,000 kwa paybill number 77700, account name Luke. Changamka, cheza Lotto Valentine's Double.
Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
Welcome to the Golden Marriage Show.
Somebody said when you see
a man and a woman driving in a car and they are talking and smiling.
That's not the wife.
No, that's not the wife.
This is the time when my wife was heavily pregnant.
These people have been in marriage for 28 years without a child.
If a problem has come, let us come out and see how are we going to solve this problem.
I said in my marriage, mke wangu hataona mangumi na makofi na mateke.
Muda hii yote tumekaa kweli 45 years, hajawahi kunichapa.
All right, now thank you for staying with us here on Look Up News. Let's continue with the program tonight. Now, China Square will remain closed after Trade Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria on Friday ordered Kenyatta University Vice Chancellor to repossess the mall space and rent it out to local traders, as the government only gives our leeway to foreign manufacturers and not traders. Now, the mall caught the eyes of many for offering almost all types of commodities at cheap prices. China Square's entry into Kenyatta University. Away from that, leaders in Mbeere South constituency of Embu County have lauded the move by EACC officers to probe the Land Control Board that sits at the Kiritiri once a month. The leaders noted that corruption and lack of integrity had stagnated the process of land adjudication, now especially in the controversial Amwai settlement scheme.
Tunajua kuna wale ambao officials wale tuseme walishikwa na EACC ni takriban watu 6 hivi ambao kunasemekana walishikwa kwa sababu ya mambo ya corruption ama kupewa hongo. Vile ningesema ni kwamba uchunguzi ufanywe kamili kuonekane kama kwamba yenyewe wameshikwa na jambo la corruption, wachukuliwe hatua.
Kwa ufisadi wa ardhi ambao ulipatikana pale kwa Lands Board, inawezekana ndio changamoto zaidi ya sisi kupata title deeds zetu hapa, kwa sababu hao ndio tu watu wanaweza kuleta siasa, hata kuenda kulipa watu waende kotini waharibu kazi za hapa ili waendeleze ukora wao.
Hii shinda yote inaletwa na uongozi ule umewekwa katika kuangalia maneno ya mashamba. So I would call upon the national government, the relevant authorities, waketi chini tumalize hii maneno, ndio hata sisi kama viongozi watu wetu tuweze kuelekeza mahali wanaweza tumia zile vyeti vyao vya shamba kupata pesa, ndio waweze kujinufaisha na kupata services zingine kupitia zile cheti zao za shamba.
All right, now to a story that has been making headlines and elicited debate across the country. The ruling by the Supreme Court to allow freedom of association among lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and queer persons in the country continues to elicit mixed reactions, with a section of the youth and clergy from Kajiado condemning the move, saying the freedom of association amounts to legalizing the practice. The anti-LGBTQ persons argue the associations will be a platform to continue with the illegality condemned in the Kenyan Constitution, as well as an avenue of recruiting more members.
Si ya kiungu hata kidogo. Kusema ya kwamba hao watu wanaweza unganika, wanaweza pewa ruhusa wakaunganika, hilo tu ni kama tu wamepitishwa na kuelezwa ya kwamba mko na ruhusa na mnaweza fanya kile ambacho mnahitaji kufanya. Na yani ni kama wamefunguliwa na kupewa huru. Lakini tutapinga haya maneno kwa sababu yamedunisha kabisa Ukristo ni nini, yametuonyesha ya kwamba kile ambacho Mungu aliumba, hakuumba hayo, hakuumba hilo tendo la jinsia moja, hakuumba hata kidogo. Sisi kama kanisa, kitu ya kwanza tumueleza vizuri wa Kristo ubaya wa hili litendo, na kitu cha pili ambacho tutawauliza na tutawahimiza ya kwamba waweze kupinga hata wao wenyewe, waweze kukataana na hiyo maneno kabisa, asikubaliane hata kidogo. Kile ambacho tutasema ni kwamba kama kanisa na vile ambavyo tunaeleza hata washirika na Wakristo wenzetu ni kwamba hii ni mbaya, na kama Wakristo hatuwezi kubali likaweza kuendelea.
Now, let's get sporty tonight. A total of 264 gamers turned up for the League One Tour